Hi guys, welcome back to In Touch with J Hutch. I just want to give you a little update on my family and what has been happening since the last video. We added a new addition to our family. We have a 2-month-old, along with my 4-year-old and 2-year-old. So we now have 3 boys. I call them 3 Musketeers because they will be best friends and they drive me crazy some days. So I'm very busy. That's probably one of the reasons why I haven't been making videos. I wanted to talk about today being a parent of a special needs child slash children. Last year, my son was diagnosed with autism, high functioning autism with a speech delay, my 4-year-old, my oldest. And the steps prior to finding out this diagnosis, I was in complete denial. As a parent and a teacher who has worked in childcare for 8 years, I did not want to accept that diagnosis. I didn't want to accept that my child was a special needs child and would need help and need an IEP eventually. And I didn't really want to accept the fact that he was special. It was a long journey. It all started when he was 2 years old. He had anger issues and he actually broke a window at his child care facility. And when I went to my director at the time, bawling my eyes out, so I didn't know what to do. I said to her, I don't know what to do. I don't know where this is coming from. Is it because my husband's in the Navy? And she asked me, she said, how is his speech? And I said, oh my gosh, he doesn't talk like others do. So we immediately got him help through early interventions. He received speech therapy, occupational therapy for sensory issues, and behavioral therapy. So that was all good. We were doing great. And then all of a sudden, it's like his behaviors began to slowly escalate, and they got worse. So I decided to seek help from the intermediate unit in our town and get him extra help, have him reevaluated and evaluated by a psychologist. When we had him evaluated by a psychologist, it was almost heartbreaking as a mom to have the psychologist explain to me how in his world things were. His language, he has behavioral issues because of his speech. He has behavioral issues because of the high functioning autism, and it all tied together. It was like a big puzzle piece, that was actually finally starting to form and come together. So for me to hear that, it was kind of like I started beating myself up as a parent. Like, what did I do wrong? Was it something I did, while I was pregnant with him? I didn't eat right? All these things were going through my head. Like, I blamed myself for a good month. And then I came to terms with it and realized, like, oh, this isn't my fault. We're going to be okay. And we're going to get him the help that he needs. It's not an easy journey. There are days where I cry. I break down because I don't know. I try my best to help him in all the ways that I can. And sometimes his sensory issues are extremely, to me, frustrating and overwhelming. His meltdowns because of sensory overloads at school, or his aggressive behaviors because, of his diagnosis. It's overwhelming for a parent. My 2-year-old has 4 therapists at the moment. He has speech, occupational, behavioral, and physical therapist. He has a speech delay and some issues with toe walking and some behavioral issues. So there's concern that, You know, he may have he may be on the spectrum for autism as well. So I'm overwhelmed. This past week, we had my oldest, Jonathan, reevaluated, and he was added to his diagnosis of high functioning autism and speech delay, now language processing disorder, and ADHD, as well as ODD. Finding out that your child has extra diagnosis and that maybe you are going to have to take extra steps and get extra therapies is like extremely overwhelming. I had a rough week. I'm doing this by myself. My husband's in the Navy, and it was very overwhelming. It was, again, I tried to blame myself. Like, what am I doing wrong? Sorry. A little emotional. I'm trying my best to get him the help that he needs, and I feel like I ran into a wall this past month because I was trying and trying and trying to get him the help, and all of a sudden, like, his teachers were getting more agitated. His behaviors were getting more aggressive at home as well as at school. So we had him reevaluated, and now I am looking into specialized preschool full-time for him, as well as getting a behavioral specialist consultant to help the teachers in his classroom learn how to address his behaviors. Biting has been an issue all of a sudden again. His sensory issues, he's chewing on chewy beads. It's overwhelming because I teach at the same daycare that he attends, and I can hear everything go on. Sometimes I can see what's going on, and it's mentally and emotionally draining. Like I said, there's been days where I break down and I'm just at my wit's end. I don't know what to do. I have a mom moment where I have to put myself in mom timeout because I'm overwhelmed. Been doing some research, reading books about how to better help my children and how to address their issues, and hoping that we can get through this. All of us together get through this and take baby steps to move on with our lives. Yeah. So I guess my thing that I wanted to also say to parents out there who are having issues with their children and, you don't know what to do, seek help. Don't be ashamed. Don't put the blame on yourself. That's one thing that I have to remember and have to take my own advice, not to blame myself and not to blame others. It is a journey, and each day we take a deep breath and we move. We move on and we conquer the challenges. Not going to say it's easy because it's not, but there are days when I feel so happy and rewarded as a mom because he'll come up to me and he'll say, "I love you, Mama," and "Thank you for this, Mama," or, he'll just give me a hug out of the blue, and for him that's a big deal. So don't be ashamed, don't beat yourself up. If you need any help, ask for it. There are people out there to help you and guide you through the journey and help your child as well. And the sooner and quicker you get your child help, it's for the better. I almost wish that I would have seen the signs earlier and not been in denial, because I feel like it would have helped all of us earlier. But with my 2-year-old, I was able to quickly address the issues and get him the help that he needs and pursue the therapies and therapists that he needs. So that being said, I just want to say, you got this, moms. It's not easy, but one day at a time. One day at a time. All right. That's all I have to say for this round. Have a blessed day. Bye.